Hello, welcome back. I'm Byron. This is Sid Meier's Civilization 3 Conquest. We have 8 turns left in the Persian Campaign of the Rise of Rome scenario. And here we go. We are losing by 400 points. Look how big Rome is in the little mini-map. Oh well. Sometimes it's fun to lose. No, it's not. I just think about this game. Maybe I've talked. It's hard to remember what I've talked about and what I haven't. But I believe I have talked about this. But ideally, I mean, you want to win, and your gut may tell you that the optimal, perhaps, difficulty setting is the one where you win half the time. But that's not true, because there's 8 players, I think in this one. Yeah, there's 8 players, but there's really 4 in this scenario. But if you set up a base game with 8 players, 7 of which are AI, the optimal difficulty level for you to play at would be where you win 1/8 the time. And that's not fun. Anyway, speaking of winning, in the news today, it's a picture of Donald Trump, and it says North Korea weighs Guam strike after Trump warning. Donald Trump has warned a fearsome fire and fury. There it is. Against North Korea. And now they're going to attack Guam. Well, the only good thing that if they do attack Guam, it'll at least end this. I doubt anything's going to happen. People were saying that when Kim Jong-il came to power, there was also this stuff going on, but I don't recall it lasting this long. So why would you attack Guam? I mean, you want to... there's no way they can win a war. But... North Korea does not... This is just confusing. It's a bad situation, and I think the worst part of the situation is that North Korea stepping this up is causing the U.S. to step up its anti-ballistic missile program, which, if you have an anti-ballistic missile program, then nuclear weapons don't really work anymore, and we go back to the old way of just fighting wars constantly. Nuclear weapons prevent wars, and if you negate those caused essentially by some lunatic saying developing the nuclear weapons, then you develop the anti-nuclear weapon technology, and suddenly you're back to the old system of constant war. I don't know, hopefully there's been a culture change with humanity that won't happen. U.S. stocks closed slightly lower. Technically at war. I think most people know that. that the South and North Korea are technically at war. But yeah, Mathis says it'd be tragic. We're gonna have to do something if we have to do something, but it'd be tragic. I don't know. The the way I understand it, Clinton also was pretty tough against North Korea. He was thinking about an invasion. I don't think he was talking about a nuclear strike, but because of course they didn't have nuclear weapons back then. They weren't as close. They were developing a nuclear program, but they weren't nearly as close. So Clinton was talking about an invasion, which probably would have been a good idea now. There's a lot we don't know. A lot of people are saying that they don't actually have the technology to hit the U.S. Annual Defense White Paper. I don't know what this means. Japan's Annual Defense White Paper. That's some sort of organization? Or just a paper that Japan produces every year? Called the Defense White Paper? Dunno. I think the most fun part of Civ is the nukes. This is fun. I remember in Civ 4 you've had capitulation, and you could just nuke someone into capitulating, where you would never have to. So the way that worked is a Civ would capitulate to you, and they would have to do the thing you tell them to, and like half of their score goes into yours. And you can create a powerful empire of capitulated states without having to manage a very large one of your own. But another thing you could do is just build up until the end game, where you would just nuke everybody, and they would capitulate to you, and your score would increase, and then you would, as you got more and more and more vassal states, they would actually start invading the countries you declared war on and started nuking. And you'd win the game that way without having to ever move a single unit. And that was pretty fun. Well, this is interesting. Lockheed Market Corp, the Pentagon's #1 weapons supplier, said on Tuesday its customers are increasingly asking about missile defense systems. Who are its customers? What does that mean? That's a bit confusing. Oh, great. Disney is pulling its movies from Netflix and starting its own streaming service. I wonder how much it's going to cost. Well, Disney fell 3.8% and Netflix fell 3% on the news. Disney branded will follow a similar offer from ESPN that will be starting in 2018. I do wonder how much it'll cost. Maybe it'll be extremely reasonable. I like the Disney musicals. I really do. It was always very hit and miss on what movies you could see on streaming on Netflix and stuff from Disney, at least those Disney musicals. BAMTech, the company, okay, it's buying basically a company that does this streaming service. Okay, so Marvel and Star Wars, it's not decided, but it's probably going to be on the Disney stuff. But of course I don't need a Star Wars streaming service, I buy the Blu-rays. Oh, that's true, Disney does have some exclusive Marvel shows that Netflix has some exclusive Marvel shows that Disney can't take away. Well, again, I wonder how much it's going to cost, and if it'll have every movie. If it has every movie, not going to be worth it because you're not going to watch them that much. It would have to be very cheap. I remember when the Pokemon Bank came out. I was so upset because I'm like, can I have to spend $12 a month on this, and it's going to be ridiculous. And then it turned out it was $5 a year, which is incredibly reasonable. Wisconsin won't break even on Foxconn plant incentives for 25 years. Well, that probably refers to the government itself, not the actual Wisconsin economy. Of course, the state's going to last more than 25 years. But of course, how long will the... That's interesting. It's going to last... Okay, so what was I talking about? But how long is this factory going to last? We don't know. It could become obsolete. That's a big problem with large investments like this, is obsolescence. I saw a YouTube video about a global train network, and that's the one thing I worry about with that, is the obsolescence. If it's going to last forever, then of course it makes sense to do it at some point at least. But if it's going to go obsolete, you're just going to lose a bunch of money. But this is interesting. Foxconn is a Taiwanese company. I just wonder how it's able to do business with China if it's a Taiwanese company, how that works. Once in a lifetime opportunity. Yeah, again, if it provides jobs, that's not this. Even though it pays taxes, I'm sure they're including everything, including the taxes that the, and if you include the taxes the people who are working there are going to pay, that's actually too high an estimate, because most of the people working there would probably have had another job, at least probably not as well paying, but a little less paying. So you'd have to subtract what they would have been paying in taxes otherwise, which severely reduces the amount of money you count towards that, so it will take even longer to quote-unquote break even. And when you're talking 25 years, you can't know what's going to happen with the economy. I mean, basically, Wisconsin is buying jobs. You can't say that it is an investment. And, return on investment for taxpayers. That's not how government works. Yeah, this is what it says. Any cash flow analysis that covers a period of nearly 30 years must be considered highly speculative, the report said. %, of jobs were filled by Illinois residents, which is a possibility. But of course, I don't know how that works. If you live in one state, work in another, who gets the taxes? I don't know. I think the federal government would have to decide that. But I don't know what they've decided. Of course, it says here in the first 3 years there will be positive cash flow because mainly of construction. Thousands of indirect jobs. Like, again, that's complicated because people working there would get other jobs at some point, and the jobs they had would be also quote unquote creating other jobs. It's complicated. But I don't know. Sort of there's a let's see, what was I talking about? Oh, El Chapo hires John Gotti's lawyer. Oh, well, the time is almost up. I've invaded Egypt, but I'm nowhere near winning. There's one turn left. One turn left, and we will see what happens. Whether in this one turn I can gain 400 points. Probably not. And I'm invading Carthage at this point. There's some small Egyptian cities that I don't have to worry about. I believe even Macedon's still around. But this has been fun. And, well, I'll see you later. Bye.